What's up everyone, Mario here with Nickel Print. Today we're going to go over 3 different tips that I think can help you start your t-shirt business. For those of you that don't know, my name is Mario, owner of Nickel Prints, a t-shirt and crafting business here in South Florida. And I started this channel as well as my TikTok to help all of you grow and expand your businesses. Mainly to get started and to be able to keep going forward. So if you like tips and tricks and learning from other people's mistakes, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button down below. So let's start off with number 3. Make sure to do research on the printing method that you want to start off with. Now, I cannot stress that enough. When I first started, I decided to try to do screen printing, and I tried to do maybe 1 or 2 shirts using screen printing method. That didn't work for me. That didn't work for me at all. The setup I had was completely homemade. I had it in my shed in the back, and I actually did a pretty nice setup. But then when I realized how much work you'd be putting into making just 1 shirt, especially for things like I wanted to do, which was a lot of Etsy shirts or one-off shirts for birthdays and stuff like that to pretty much get started, it didn't work for me. Always do your research, make sure you know the pros and cons for the printing method that you're thinking of going with, and make sure it works with the type of printing that you want to be doing. Because if you want to be doing one-off shirts and you want to start with screen printing, in my experience, it didn't work out for me. Maybe it could work out for you, you never know. I didn't really do too much research. I saw screen printing was one of the more popular things to go with, and I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna go do that. Now, on the other hand, you have things like heat transfer vinyl, which are great for one-off shirts, and it can also be pretty good for bulk orders. But you have the downside where you can't do full color images, you have to take the time to cut and weed all the designs. But heat transfer vinyl is an absolutely amazing method to print, and I love it. I think heat transfer vinyl is probably one of the best ways to start. There's a bunch of different methods that you can choose from, so just make sure that you're going with what works best for you, and very importantly, what works best for the room you're going to be working in. Because let's say you're working out of your closet to start, you're not going to be able to fit too many things in there. You're not going to be able to fit a full-size cutter or a whole screen printing setup. You might be able to rig it and use different rooms for different purposes, which works perfectly fine. Again, it's whatever works for you and whatever works with your environment. Number 2, don't get too caught up purchasing the best and most expensive equipment. Now, I'm not saying go super cheap and buy something that's going to end up not working, because that kind of happened to me. I bought this DTF printer from China and it completely crapped out on me. It was fairly pricey because, you know, it came all the way from China. It's a full-on DTF printer, and to just receive it and not have it work and have to go through all this troubleshooting is absolutely horrendous. It's a headache. It sucks. I was supposed to be up and running with it about a month ago. I'm still trying to troubleshoot it to even get it to turn on now. So with that being said, I'm not saying go completely cheap and cheap out, but you don't have to buy the most expensive equipment. Let's say if you're going for a heat press, you don't immediately have to buy the Hotronics IQ Fusion, right? I think that one's maybe like $3,000. It's an amazing press, don't get me wrong. I really want one of those. You can start with something cheaper. You can go on Heat Transfer Warehouse and get their 15x15 Walapress with a slide-out drawer, which would be about $500 to $600. You might just be testing the waters and you don't really know how serious you're gonna get with it, so you don't want to spend too much. Then you know what? Go on Amazon. Go on Amazon and look for a Fancier Studio 15x15. You can get one of those anywhere between $200 to $300, and I've heard good reviews about them. I've heard good reviews about Fancier Studio. It's your basic heat press, nothing special, and it just works. Same thing goes for your cutter, right? Let's say you decide to start with heat transfer vinyl. You don't need to start with the most advanced cutter that cuts 24 inches or more. You know, maybe you don't have the space, maybe you don't have the money, because those also run into the thousands. Then you can start with what I started with, a Cameo 4. It's a little bit small, it's a 12-inch cutter, but then you also have the option to upgrade to the Cameo Plus or the Cameo Pro. I currently have the Cameo Pro, which goes up to 24 inches, but the Cameo Plus cuts up to 15 inches, and that's more than enough for what most people are going to be using it for. Number 1, don't go too small on your heat press. This is one thing that I wish I had known from the beginning, because I almost immediately regretted it. Personally, I think that a 15x15 heat press is perfect, but you don't want to go anything under that. I started off with a 12x10 heat press, and let me tell you, I outgrew it very quick. Not a lot of people want prints that small. Most people want, let's say if it's a work shirt, they want, you know, a fairly big print in the back. Where if you have a 15x15 press, you can do it in 1 press, or you can do it in 2 presses. With the 12x10 heat press that I had a design that was almost the full back. It literally took me 4 presses to do 1 shirt. I had to do each corner by itself. To make 1 shirt with that particular design took me the time it would take me to make 4 shirts. It was horrible. It was really bad, and I wish I had started off with at least a 15 by 15. Currently what I use back here is actually a 16 by 20. I like oversized designs, so I got a big one. If you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it, please make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. It seriously helps the channel a lot, and it means a ton to me. I love making these videos, and I love helping out, making sure that everyone can learn from my mistakes, and hopefully I'm helping you all save some money and also make some money as well. That's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Later.